Alrighty, guys. It is 3:30 this Tuesday, October 28th, to wrap it up. And oh boy, do we have a rally going on. So that was a bit more surprising than I thought. After this little rundown this morning, we started off range bound, remember? We started range bound. We were looking to buy weakness to see if they can hold and maybe take it higher, but this was a little bit more than I expected. In the morning when it in the pop ran up like this before the open, I figured that was kind of it, and we're going to see more. We're going to see more of a sell-off afterwards. They did not materialize at all at the London close. They ran it down here, barely tested support, and then took off, and that was it. Then we had that crazy pop. And after that, it was just been a straight shot to the upside. So net buying going on at 2 o'clock hour didn't do anything. After that, they popped a couple more times. I have not traded this. I just took that one trade on the Nasdaq, and now I'm sitting here wondering why the heck? What the heck is this? And can I pay attention to my screens more often, right? But anyway, so trade is from the long side of the market right now. The market is on a tear. It's trading higher. Just look to buy weakness for rotations up. That's kind of the ticket right now. Then we'll see how it shakes out tomorrow. So tomorrow we're getting a little bit more news. We're getting the Fed announcement at 2. We have, if everything holds, we have mortgage apps in the morning, international trade, retail inventories, wholesale inventories at 8:30, then at pending home sales at 10, all report at 10:30, and then the Fed announcement at 2. So I'm assuming some of those are going to come out. So we're just going to again kind of watch our news times again. I wasn't sure. I didn't think anything was coming out on the news side, but today the housing data came out, the consumer confidence came out, and okay, so let's watch the news. But the big item for tomorrow is going to be that Fed rate cut. So, but look at this move to the upside, straight shot up after this pop. And man, I mean, they had this weakness in there going into the London close. I was watching this. I was thinking they head below 6,900 may have to start leaning in on the short side a bit more aggressively. But no, then no such thing. And now we are just heading higher. 2 o'clock hours didn't do anything. And right now we are right up here against 69.45 at the high. But man, pretty interesting. Sometimes day like this, you kind of have to just get in and hope for the best. I was watching the Nasdaq, and that was for sure doing it. It's just finding that spot to get in. It's not because what you have to do is you have to look for one of those Bs, pullback Bs, and aggressively get in on that pullback. You can't wait until it starts trading back up again, and you lost all your trade location. So that's when you have a day like this. That's kind of how you have to approach it. But you won't know this until you kind of get halfway through it. So you're going to have to give up a little bit of trade location to figure out that this move is actually happening the way it is. So. Because on the way up here down when you were in that initial balance range, there is no shot. I mean, you can make that assumption. So as they start taking out this area, the high here, the 69.30, that's when you can start thinking about, okay, maybe we have a grind to the upside going and try to get long. So you have this opportunity over here. The rest, I mean, if you were long from the mean up, yeah, fine. But this grind to the upside is you can be a lot more aggressive on your entry. Only before that, not so much. But starting from the long side, let's see how far they can take it. So looking to buy, it's going to be one edge here at the 69.30s. It's going to be one here at the 69.15s. I look to buy against those edges on it for away for rotations back up again. Looking at the bonds and the Nasdaq, the only trade I took today was this early on trade on the Nasdaq, and now it feels pretty stupid, right? Looking at I took that short trade against the midpoint, figuring that's going to retest the low, and that was right at that London rundown, and it did not materialize. I got out of it for $5. That was it. And look at that. After that, it just took off the upside. So now I'm thinking like, shit, I totally missed out on that one. So on the Nasdaq, you did have a little bit better, a little bit more head start. So on the Nasdaq, when this whole thing happened, and you could see how how it was shaping up afterward. When this started trading higher, pulled back, it wasn't going lower. Around about here, you can potentially try to get long, that they have enough information that it's not going to rotate back down again right away. They did have one fake out down here on this guy, but on this bar, but other than that, they started grinding this higher, and you can get the sense that every pullback gets bought, and then they try to run it, it gets bought, and then just keep going like that. So in Nasdaq, you had a much better opportunity to get long early on in this game. And look at that thing after that. If you got long somewhere around here, around the 130, 140s, you're up at the two. It's like, that's a pretty good thing. And you see, they're just trailing that second standard deviation up, not going below it. That's some net buying going on there. So stay on the long side on that one as well. I would be a little bit cautious buying the highs now. I mean, you're getting late in the day. So if anything, I would look for a pullback. But sometimes you get even a higher blowout towards the end, like a total exhaustion. But I mean, at this point, it's getting a little bit late to hop on the long side. But man, it's something. This is absolutely something. So we're up against that 26 300 or 26 220 right now is the highs. So staying on the long side on the Nasdaq. Looking to buy weakness, I'm gonna have to redo these levels on the way down. But definitely, if you look at the Nasdaq, you have these single print K prints at 170. Look to buy against those. Look to buy against that triple edge at 21, 26 100s and at the 26,060s. So that's kind of levels I'm going to be drawing up for tomorrow. Bond market is not doing much. He has traded back up to 119, so that's a good sign and not pulling back in it. So yields kind of coming down a little bit. Now I heard some forecasting about the yields kind of going higher next year. Yeah, we'll see how the whole thing shakes out. But right now, the I would just stay bond market stays where it's at, but the equities can certainly trade higher. So range bound bond market at this point, staying alongside on Nasdaq, staying alongside on the ES. If you look at gold and oil is heading lower. They are down here towards the lower end of this range at the 59.80. So I would be looking at retest of that low, potentially lower. I would be looking to sell against that ledge right here at the 60.25 and the 60.65s for rotations down. So they're going to be approached for oil. So looking to sell strength. If they trade up above that 60, 70 to 75, look for a retracement trade at that point. And gold, they were up here. They never got to the 39.95. They stalled at the 39.85.86. That was the high. And then they haven't quite pulled back a whole lot. They're just kind of building value here. So interesting to see if gold's going to be able to make go out of this, take this out in the overnight, or if it's going to be a nice reverse retest on those and then lower prices. So I would look for that short setup against these areas again. So still looking for short against the 77, 78, 86, 85, 86s and the 94, 95s. Rotations back down again. So that could be an interesting one. The gold runs up here, tests these levels, and then kind of craters after that. But interesting stuff. Gold, moving all over the place. Well off the 4,400 level. So they are a good 10% down right now on gold. So pretty big moves. I have not traded gold or oil. Oil, not because it's not really moving a whole lot. Gold, because it's moving too much. It's just too difficult to get in on that with any certainty. All right, back to the ES and let's see if we get some profit taken towards the end here. But man, it looks a little bit of a pullback here. But so let's see what happens with this guy. Anyway, we'll leave it there for now, guys. So we have news tomorrow, mortgage apps, something a little bit at 8:30, pending home sales at 10, and then the Fed announcement at 2. So let's see how that shakes out. All right, guys, I'll see you back in the morning. You have a good evening. So just one trade on the NASDAQ, that $5 trade. That was it for me today. And looking at the NASDAQ chart, I'm just kind of beating myself like, dang, this I would have been more and more aggressive on that one, but that's how it goes. All right, guys. See you in the morning. Better.